I recently got the Smashbox step-by-step contour kit. Actually, my mom bought it for me. And I thought it was pretty cool, but upon opening it, I found all the instructions. Like, all of them. And I was really confused. That's the Spanish side. I was really confused because I thought contouring was just pretty simple. You know, maybe not. See, I thought contour was just like, put the shadows where you want it, think about it, you know your face better than these people do. So I thought it would be fun to do what they want me to do with their palette. So they've got instructions for each shape, face shape, and I'm the oval. What I'm going to do is do it the way they want me to do it, and then erase it, and then do it the way I normally do it. And I want to see what kind of difference there is between the two styles of contouring. So first thing it says is to use a contour shade and to do like triangles underneath the cheekbone, and then just contour your nose. So let's do that. Okay, so this one's the contour shade, by the way, the cooler toned. And then I'm gonna start with the nose. What they did was kind of like focus it up here and like trail it down a little bit. This isn't, I don't know if it's the brush's fault or the contour's fault, but it's not spreading very well. That looks good, okay. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and then what they did was basically like a triangle starting from like the temple down to like the center of the cheek. What do they have? They have it like here. So it lines up here. So we've got, starts here, kind of ends here. And then it's a triangle. Could be more of a triangle. What do you think? Close enough. Close enough. Okay, so that's the first step. Okay, and then what they do next is the second step here. I don't know if you can see that, but they've got like the dotted line here. Maybe you can see it better on the back here. See the dotted line right there? That's where they want me to put the bronzer. Let's get this brush and we'll put the bronzer there. Should I blend it out? I'll blend it out at the end. Yeah. Okay, and then next they have the highlight, which they put, can you see, on the chin, under eyes, and then in the middle of your forehead. Just a flat eyeshadow brush for that. Let's start here. So they do a bit of a circle. And then like a Nike symbol underneath the eye. Maybe I should have concealed my under eyes. And then we've got a triangle on the forehead. Okay, I think that's that. That was really it. Oh, I missed the, there we go. I missed the bronzer. They also have bronzer like under the chin area right here. I don't know why that is. I feel like if you put bronzer here, you should put bronzer up here too. The purpose of bronzer is to like kind of toast the edges, bronzer is more of an illusion than a fact. So contour is like making it look like you have something. Bronzer is like making it look like it looks like you have something, like a tan or whatever. Bronzer's weird, man. Okay, I'm gonna blend this out. Okay, it's a little hard to blend out, but that might be because I let it sit on my cheek for a second while I did everything else. I mean, it's okay. To be honest, it kind of blended out to nothing, so I can't really see that I did anything, you know? Yeah, I don't see much, and the highlight is super sheer. For the second one, I'll conceal my under eyes. I don't know if that'll mess everything up, but I feel like that with concealed under eyes, the highlight might show up a little bit more. So yeah, let me wash all this off and I'll come back to you with a fresh base and we'll do step 2.
I'm almost done on my concealer. You see that? That's like the end of it. I'm so sad. I'm gonna have to buy more. I'm really sad. Look at that. What am I gonna do? I'm going to Walmart. Not right now, but after this. I'm gonna go to Walmart and get more.
Okay, so I've got my second base on. And we're just gonna do contour as usual. Contour palette, it's right here. So the first thing I noticed was that they really wanted harsh lines. They wanted me to like draw triangles and circles on my face, and I think honestly, so I'm gonna do the way I normally contour, and I'm gonna kind of criticize the other method at the same time. Maybe I'll do this one second, that makes more sense. And one, that's a waste of time, because why not blend it out while you're there? The trick with contour is to really, it's honestly the color. Since I have really cool toned skin, a cool toned contour is going to look like a natural shadow on my face. It's going to look like bronzer if it's too warm. So I'm just going to pick that up, and really I'm just kind of simultaneously placing it and blending it. I'm starting at my temple and I'm stopping where my pupil is. So they had like stopped like right where the where my smile lines really are, but I would stop like if I look straight ahead. This is where my pupil lines, so I can't see it on the camera, but about here. And then I'm just kind of placing it and blending it at the same time. I am trying to keep below the cheekbone and above the jawline and just blending it out there. Just kind of saves time to blend it at the same time, and the blush brush is small enough I can still place it where I want and blend it at the same time. If I had used the Wet n Wild powder brush, see the difference. So this one's the powder brush, sorry, and it's really wide and it's really dense. And then the blush brush is really kind of slimmer and it's not as dense in the fibers, so the fibers are longer and less packed, so that gives me more control over where my contour is going. And then really that's all I do. I have an oval shaped face, which really means I can do anything I want, but I don't actually want that much contour. I like my nose, I like my chin, I like my forehead. Sometimes I add a little bit up here, but that's really just kind of to blur the line between my forehead and my hairline. Let's do that. They didn't put anything on their forehead. On the instructions, they don't tell me to do anything with my forehead, so I'm just gonna contour a little bit, and I'll probably come back with bronzer and blend that on top. And really, I do it when I have more contour on. I'll probably put it on my forehead, not to contour, but so that my forehead matches the rest of my face. I find that if I like do my entire face and then forget my forehead, it just is white and shiny and it looks detached from the rest of my face. Okay, so now I'm gonna move on to bronzer. Bronzer is tricky. When you're bronzering and contouring at the same time, it's actually really hard because they go in pretty much the same place, depending on what you're looking for. The easy way to just kind of slap bronzer on is to follow the 3. So you've got above your eyebrow and you draw a 3 at like the middle area of your cheekbone, actually the same place that the other people placed it, and then to the jawline. You see the 3 that I'm making here? That's where you usually place it. But bronzer is usually blended out a little bit more than contour, so it's actually going to naturally land on top of your blush a little bit and on top of your contour a little bit. And so when you're contouring at the same time as bronzing, you're actually going to lose the effect of both. So I usually just pick one. But since they've got both, what I would do is I would contour with my bronzer. As ironic as it is, since I don't want that much of a contour, I can honestly just place a darker shade in underneath my cheekbones, and then also up here to create the three that we're wanting, and then also create a shadow. It won't be as effective as contouring, but it does the same thing. But since I already have contour there, what I might do is just focus above my eyebrow and on my jawline, and then maybe a little bit on my nose, middle of my forehead, chin. The idea with bronzing is you can hit the edges of your face. So with contouring, you're going to hit the hollows, so underneath your cheekbone, the hollow of your cheek, sometimes in your temple, the crevice of your nose. With highlight, you're going to hit the high points of your face, so right on top of your cheekbone, right on top of your nose, it would be on top. So why bronzer is tricky is it's both. So what you do for bronzer is really just hit the edges of your face in a 2D fashion, so like around and then down and across. I'll show you what I mean. So with that 3, we've got a little bit up here, a little bit here, and then a little bit here. And that's already going to hit, see right here, it's going to hit the edges of my face. And then I sometimes like to hit like my nose, because that just makes sense. My nose sticks out. If the sun is shining, it's going to hit my nose. It is science. And then my chin, for the same reason. And that's really it for bronze. And then we've got highlighting. I'm gonna be honest, I don't really like the highlighter. I mean, I really like matte highlighters. I think they're a really cool concept, and I like playing with the dimension of my face and bring this forward, bring this back. And you have an easier time doing that with matte highlighters instead of like the glittery ones. But this one's just so sheer, it's honestly just easier to go in with my concealer. I just got super light concealer and I do the same thing. It's easier to apply, easier to blend. But I mean, while we've got this, let's go for it. So I'm just gonna dip it in. I'm really gonna like pack it on because it's really not that pigmented. What I do is I always do my under eyes, but that's for a completely different reason. So I've been talking about dimensions of your face and where to put your bronzer because the edge, the contour to shape, the highlight to bring forward, but I just put highlight under my eyes because they're so deep set, sunken, and purple that the highlight offsets that. It's purely just to offset how tired I am. It does nothing for the shape of my face, nothing for the contouring and highlighting. That's just what I do. And that's why I'm a little frustrated with this highlight. And then for highlight, I actually do like to put some up here. And you can't see it because this highlighter is so sheer. Like I say, I usually go in with this and you can see it a lot better. And then down the nose, and I fight myself with this, I'll be honest, this one doesn't make sense because I put bronzer, blush, and highlighter all on my nose, and that just makes a muddy mess. But I like all of them there, so I just do it anyway. My advice is pick one. Highlight will bring it forward and slim it. Blush will make your blush honestly look more natural and more all over, and then bronzer will make you look like you've been out in the sun. But I like doing them all because I'm crazy. I just really like makeup, so just put it all on your face. And then sometimes I do my chin. Honestly, that's a new weird gimmick of mine. I wanted to be Captain Janeway for Halloween, and so in studying her face, she has really like a harsh contour, and then her chin actually comes out a lot. So just for kicks recently, I'll put like contour right here. I'll show you. I'll put contour here to bring this part of my mouth back, and then I'll put highlight here to bring it forward to basically change the shape of my chin to match hers because she's my childhood hero. That has nothing to do with my face or how I normally contour. That's just a weird hobby of mine, copying celebrity faces. You could, if you wanted, put highlight here, but honestly I like the glittery stuff because it gives you a more dewy look as well as highlighting. I'll show you. A lot of fallout, but it's just super shiny. And I'll use my fan brush and I just put it right here. And it kind of simultaneously highlights, see that? And kind of gives you a dewy, more radiant look. That's really it. Usually you pick your highlighter. You either do a matte and you can put it where you normally do, or you can do a shiny one and do it where you normally do, or you could do both, but I'd recommend a more pigmented highlighter to do both, to kind of lighten your skin and then kind of use the shimmeries to bounce the light off of other places. TLDR, super sheer, barely does anything, and that's where I usually place a good highlighter. And that's really it. Let me pop on some blush and then I'll give you my final thoughts if I haven't already. Really, it's a good palette. I really love the contour and bronzing colors. I wish they were a little bit more pigmented, but I get why the contour and bronzer are a little bit more sheer, simply because it's super tough to work with super pigmented stuff. The more pigmented it is, the less of a second chance you get if you mess something up. So, I mean, they're good. I'm really excited about the colors and I'll definitely use them again. And then, yeah, the highlighter, super powdery, super sheer. Honestly, you'd be able to see it if you put highlighter under it, which is kind of ridiculous. So it's a simultaneous palette review, contour guide, highlight guide, and bronzer ramble. And those are my thoughts for the morning.